G'day guys, welcome back to the channel, and today of course we are here to review AFL Fantasy's team for round 23, and overall a decent week, as it seems like a lot of teams did struggle to break that 2,400 mark a lot of the time. I didn't even break the 2,300 barrier. In the end, my score was 2,244, which ranked around 13,000 overall for the round rank. Now of course we'll get to Harry Sheasel in a moment, but a couple of other decent performances over the week. We had Lockie Whitfield with the 103, not too bad. McCarthy, what a performance he's had basically since coming to mid-season draft. He got 82. McKercher 91. Bailey Smith 109. Dacos 106. Bontempelli with the 131 as my captain, which was 262, so you love to see that. Max Scorn with the 132. Lovely. Rowan Marshall with the 121. Chad Warner, one of his better games in AFL fantasy-wise for the year with the 98. Brian Myers 92. And that's pretty much all the good scores. Of course, we have to talk about Harry Sheasel. What a performance, not even just on North Melbourne wise, but AFL Fantasy, the most important thing. 186, 54 touches, and overall was just a massive performance for him. Next week he's got the Crows, or this week, so not really expecting that sort of score from him again, but to nearly break the disposals record in the AFL, I think it was equal with Tom Mitchell now. Very good performance from him, so well done, and it will be interesting to watch next year. It doesn't look like he'll get defensive status, but I think in the next week or two as well, probably towards the end of the season, we may actually do something on the podcast regarding players to look out for 2026, because I think it will be very interesting. But let's just take a quick look at some lesser best players from the week, players that weren't really at their best. Nasiah Wanganeen and Miller, of course, just re-signed with St Kilda, so that's great news for them. Would have been better if he scored a little bit better on AFL Fantasy, though. Only got the 81. Max Holmes with the 78 was kind of tagged by James Jordan, so you kind of don't mind that. Jordan Dawson, even though it was a great win for the Crows, only got the 91 in the end. No one actually broke the 100 barrier for the Crows in that game, but still 91, still wanted a bit better. Brayshaw with the 90, Tom Green with the 90. A lot of players that just could not break that 100 barrier over the week, which I kind of needed to have a score that was, plus 2,300. Will Ashcroft, first time in the team since returning, basically, 84. It was really disappointing because he had a really good first quarter and a bit for the Lions, but just couldn't keep on going. Caleb Sarong with the 83, first time for him in the team. Was expecting more from him going up against the Lions, but even though he wasn't really tagged or anything, still couldn't break a good score, and even in that game, Fremantle's highest score was 90. Luke Jackson with the 56. I think it's his lowest score of the year. Really disappointing. And Isaac Rankin, along with Jeremy Cameron, low scores. Jezza only got the 50 against Sydney. As a Swans fan, I was happy he was kept goalless, but as a fantasy owner, I wasn't too impressed, and Isaac Rankin 78, not really the greatest. Now, my brother's team over the week did beat me. He got 2,301, which was ranked 4,534 for the round. So pretty decent in the end. I mean, you can see it's only, nearly an 80-point difference. So not that much, but that breaks 9,000 in ranking points. So a lot of people really hovered around 2,300 to the mid-2,200s. Now, looking at my brother's team, 86 to Lockie Ash, 89 to Jordan Clark. James Sicily brought him into the team this week. Only had that money for him, only got the 79. But Lockie Ash and Jordan Clark both did pretty well for his side. He had Zach Butters with the 97, Tom Liberatore with the 96, Noah Anderson with the 118. So a lot of his players actually scored quite decently over the week. Caleb Daniel he had as well. But the players that he had, he also had the captaincy on Marcus Bontempelli. He did have Harry Sheasel. A lot of the similarity scores for me were about the same, but the players that he had did score a little bit higher, like marginally. Like I had Ashcroft and Sarong. He had Butters and Liberatore who scored higher, along with Noah Anderson. And then that's kind of where the points broke down there, that he just got a little bit more than me this week. So now we get to our trades for the round. So my trades, the final trades for this week, final for the year, are Madden out for Dodson and Isaac Rankin out for Sean Manor. Now, I was going to try and get Isaac Heaney as a midfielder, but I just can't find a way to get him. I have to get rid of Isaac Rankin with his impending suspension. So Sean Manor is a good choice for mine. Has a game against the Tigers this week. Has been a pretty prolific goal scorer in recent weeks as well. So I'm expecting him to get another decent score. Was probably best on ground for the Cats last week. So really excited with Sean Manor. What a end of the season he's having as well. So really like that move. And I think the Cats with a pretty favourable game against the Tigers should be all good. And Dodson basically just getting that basement price player. Now my brother's trades for round 24 are Taj Houghton out of his team for Dodson, and he's taken out Caleb Daniel for Sean Manor. So pretty similar trades in the end, trying to bottom out one one player to then get that last ditch effort to try and get a good score from a player. Sean Manor, I think he's the guy that a lot of people are going to bring in this week. I think probably the Crows players like Riley Thilthorpe, Darcy Fogarty, like tall forwards, probably aren't the go. I don't think that in the last few weeks, the Crows forwards haven't really gone heavy on one player. They've kind of spread the goals, similar to Geelong last week. They didn't really go to Jezza Cameron. They spread the goals around each other. So I think at this stage, maybe stay clear of a tall forward. You can't really get rid of Jezza Cameron if you brought him in now, because there is such a chance that he cannot kick a bag against the Tigers. But at this stage, I think Manor is the go if you're looking for a high price forward. But finally, guys, let's take a look at the ladder for the channel. The Cheetah Cubs still got a stranglehold on that top spot of our league. He's got 49,013 over the year. He leads second spot, the Welshman, who is on 48,850. So has a 163-point lead on top, the Cheetah Cubs, and only scored 2 points more than the Welshman last week. So it's getting pretty tight. It looks like the Cheetah Cubs has got it at this stage. I think he's been on top for the majority of the second half of the year. So he's got that spot almost sewn up at this point. The Delusional Fools has jumped into third spot after being hovering around 4 to 5 for a lot of the last 6 weeks, so he's done pretty well. Goonaville, my favourite name in the top 10, he's moved up into 6th spot, and Dua Lipa is in 10th. So the top 10 has stayed relatively the same for the majority of the last month or so. So looking at it right now, we moved down to where me and my brother are positioned, and we are neck and neck at this moment in time. I am sitting in 38th, he is sitting in 39th. He is 25 points behind me. So right now, this is my head-to-head league. This is my grand final. This week, I need 25 points. I need to win by at least 25 points over my brother, and I will take out the championship between the both of us. Looking at other teams around that mark, though, giving me Dumplings isn't too bad a score. He jumped all the way up into 35th spot after 2,388 over the week, so that's not too bad at all. But looking around the scores across the league, up the top, even down the bottom, no one really scored massive over the weekend, so it was kind of difficult. A lot of players, there was not really like many high-priced players other than Harry Sheezel, who scored 186, and I think you would have been very brave to pick him as your captain. So if you did, kudos to you. But I mean, praise Harry Sheezel over the week. But this moment in time, everyone's getting ready for their grand final in the AFL fantasy space, or they're looking to try and get the highest score possible in their open leagues. That's what I'm trying to do right now, guys. Make sure to let me know down below your trades going into the final round of the season, and make sure to check out next week as well, as we'll be doing not only a review for the final round, but also be reviewing the whole year on AFL fantasy for the channel. But guys, make sure to like and subscribe if you did enjoy this video, and for now, we'll catch you all in the next one.